So some of the things that we're going to talk about here is that you have, and if you don't know, we will help you with that. But if we're assuming that you have a couple of clienteles, that you already have engaged with, and you have emails that you can probably talk about your business to, or your organization to. Okay. So what is email marketing? Email marketing is, let me just normalize that. Okay, email marketing is the use of emails to promote products and service while developing a relationship with customer. That's the key thing. So what we want to do is build relationships. You don't want to just say, hey, you know what, you need my product, so buy it, right? You want to be able to talk to them in their understanding and we'll go through this more in detail, their problems and how do you solve their problems? What are your solutions? And numerous ways you could do that it could include through newsletters with updates on the company or promotions of current sales, as well as exclusive deals for subscribers. So you want to have some kind of call to action and initiatives or motives to do the email marketing. The other one that we want to talk about is nurturing emails. This is one of the type of email is that what you want to nurture relationships. So going back to that relationship, you want to have something that, hey, I'm dealing that I have 2 rooms that I need to paint, and that's actually true. 2 of my kids want to paint their rooms, and I don't have the time to paint it, and I don't know how to do the painting well either. That's my problem now. If I see a campaign or an email that comes up to me and says, hey, you know what, get your room done within a professional job for affordable price, or professional painting that can make your kids smile to enjoy your room, I will probably open that email because that's already in my thought process about it, right? So that's what you want to nurture. So remind the email customers that you exist. Sometimes, people say, oh, I don't want to send so many emails. I'll guarantee you, if your emails provide value, they will like the fact that your email's there. They just don't want emails like, okay, 20% down now, buy it. You know what? You want us. We are the best thing in the world. That's awesome, but you're still not talking about problems. And that's what your emails need to start talking about, is to remind them that, what, we are a customer, we are a client, we are an organization that exists for customers and clients. Allows you to build a relationship, trust with the customers. So emails will say, okay, you know what, as you do it on a consistent basis, they will start expecting it. Let's just say every Friday you send an email. I'll guarantee you that, if they open your email, they will expect your email. Especially from a nonprofit organization perspective, they want to know what's happening, and they don't want to go into your website because they're like, I'm not looking for particularly that, but I just want to know what's happening in that organization. A quick a newsletter on what's happening, what are the key things that you have done last month, this week, some of the lives that have been touched. Customers or who are funded into that nonprofit, they will love that. Offer values and create sense of repository. So you want to be able to offer values. You want to always talk from their person's perspective, as in why do you want to connect with this business? How it is, being part of a paint, getting a paint store, emails from the paint store, what is that going to guide? So even let's say if you want to do it yourself, but let's just say I give you some 3 tips on how to start a paint job, a paint room, right? I will open that email. You know what, let me just get a quick 3 tips from the experts that's out there. Remind people of the problems you solve. That's some of the things that we talked about already, is that you want to emphasize what problem are you solving. I always ask my clients when I talk to them before, is that who are your audience and what problem are you solving? And I would always ask you guys, especially if you have a team of people working together, come together at least once a month or quarterly and say, hey guys, what is the problem we're answering for our clients? And then are we communicating that effectively in our emails, in our website, in our in our social media, right? Because those are important topics to talk about. The types of email marketing that you will see out there: weekly announcements, weekly tips, and weekly notifications. You probably didn't see sales. Again, all of this probably have a underlining tone of, hey, you know what, you want to connect with us. But people don't want to see sales emails. And I'm sure you guys can probably agree to it. If we send an email saying on a constant basis, on every day, or even a weekly basis, saying, hey, you know what, you need to partner with digital consultants because you know what, we are the best thing in the world. We want to sell you XYZ. You probably want to, you will want to probably unsubscribe from us. I would want to unsubscribe because you don't want to sit there and hear what you're best at. Tell me what you can do for me, right? So it's the same concept goes to you guys, right? So you want to think about when you're putting on a weekly announcements, what does that weekly announcement mean to your clients? The reader who's going to open the email, what are they going to see about it? Weekly tips and notifications. So we'll go into details on each one of these. So weekly announcements, you want to build a trustful, a trust with the person who's reading that email. It helps them to establish this trust and before they start the customer journey. So they probably see your emails coming through and they're like, hey, you know what, I like what I'm seeing, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to, you know, handshake and put a whole trust in it. But at least you have put an initiative onto their minds. You came across their mind this week that you didn't last week if you didn't send that email. Or even if you haven't sent an email for a month, you're not in their mind. Soon as from a stats perspective, from a marketing perspective, if you can get into their minds 6 to 7 times, it shows that there's 80% chance of conversion. They will come in and start talking to you, at least initiating a conversation with you. Make sure the email is short and punchy. Don't write a long email. Please don't do that. Their interest will be gone. They need to be, remember, in today's world, people are multitasking, right? They're looking at their email at the same time, listening to music, maybe talking to their kids or eating their lunch or whatever they're doing. So when they look at the email, they need to know right away, what is this about? And how can I be part of that story in that email? Right? Make it convincing. So for instance, the subject heading, if you say, hey, you know what, 40% off, what is it? 40% off of couch, 40% off of store TV. What is it means to me for the 40% off? Or, you know what, we are having a camp that is going to help kids grow, help kids have fun time and away from screens. Whoa, you know what? I'm a mom. I will sign up because I don't want my kids in front of screens. I would do anything right now for my kids to be outside, enjoying the nature, enjoying outside, right? So think of it in the audience perspective when you're writing subject headings. Weekly tips. So this is probably what you guys see from us. We try to at least add a couple of tips when we send in our email, because again, tips will help people start thinking about, okay, now I can do it. When people say, hey, go build a website, it's like, oh my goodness, it's overwhelming, right? But if you can give them a small tips and say, hey, you know what, your tagline, just improving your tagline, 3 ways to improve your tagline. People would say, okay, you know what, I can do 3 things, 3 tips, I can include that. So add in a way, if you have support services or services where, you know what, you're dealing with people directly, say, hey, you know what, 3 tips on how to make your marriage better tomorrow. Easy and quick way to ignite some fire into your relationship. Something that where people can say, hey, you know what, they're talking about my relationship, right? So add value, focus on adding value to your consumer, position yourself as the guide for the customer journey. Remember, okay? Sorry, just getting somebody in here. So you are the guide and the person who's going to read the email is the story about. So don't think that you are the hero. The person who's going to read the email is the story, is the hero, right? So what does that mean? What I'm saying, what I mean by that is that when you're writing your email, think about it, say, hey, you know what, can I relate to that person? What kind of problems are we solving? Going back to the value, right? Match your problem to your solution. Again, make it short and deliverable. Make them short, easy to read, and easy to follow. Add pictures, make it scannable, right? Keywords, make some headings and say, hey, you know what, this is the, 3 ways to get your kids outside, fun, active, problem solving, whatever it is. I'm giving you random topics, but I'm sure if we can spend some time, we can give you a quick, easy way for people to engage. And your audience are parents if you're going to give something for their kids, right? make it problem solution. So when you're putting the tips, make it clear what problem you are solving and what the solution is. Because sometimes when you put the solution in, it's not easy for people to understand what does that, which problem is that solving. So sometimes, it's easy to put, if you say, hey, are you tired of not having proper family fun time? Here are 3 things you can do as a family together. Right. So that's the problem, is that families are bored, they're tired, they don't know what to do, they're home. And the solution is, here are 3 things that you can do with the family. Right. So now you added value to them. Okay. There we go. Weekly notification. So I wouldn't name your email as weekly notification, but this is the objective you're trying to get to. Position your brand as the guide. So position yourself as the guide, your customer as the main character, and it will help them remember you and understand you and ultimately buy your product or service. So this is where I'm talking to you guys. At least, guys, if you're not doing any email marketing, start with monthly and then somehow work your way to weekly, because it definitely positions you as a brand and as an authority in that sector. So are you a sector person who's good at, counseling, painting, constructions, building houses, digital marketing? They're going to learn who you are when they hear your position as in what you're doing. And again, to the second point is the what's problems you're solving. If they don't understand what problems you're solving, I can guarantee you they might be your mom and dad or uncle or aunts or friends, good best friends who are in your emails, but the other people, they won't forward it to anybody, because if it's not solving any problem. But if you are getting into a mind and reminding people constantly the problem you're solving, they will, hey, you know what? I don't have this problem, but I know my friend was just talking to me. Let me forward him this email. They will help. This will help them. And offer in the weekly notification, offer values to create a sense of reciprocity. So how are you building their trust? How are you nurturing a relationship? Hey, you know what? We care about them. Show to them that you genuinely care about them. You're just not there to sell something. But like, when one of the things that, we were working with Susan on her Rock of Peace on the book, right? We genuinely care about family. We genuinely care about marriages. And that's why we're passionate about what we're doing. And show your passion in your emails, in your branding, in your marketing, when you're talking your messages there. How to improve your email marketing strategy. Know your audience. So quick things to take away so that you guys can take this away and say, hey, all of this is good. How do I implement it? This is what our takeaway for you is, that know your audience. Take half an hour, 1 hour with your team, write down who your audience are. Who are the people we are talking to, right? Don't go to the whole world, because it will be too overwhelming. You will get scared, you will get tired, you will burn out. Think about who your audience is and focus on the audience. Experiment to see what works better and offer them a value. So think about, a couple of emails and say, this email worked, that email didn't work. Okay, they like this. And then offer, based on the experiment, offer the value that they would want. Review your landing pages. So all your websites should have landing pages. So let's say you create an email, create a landing page based on that topic. So what I mean by that is that if your email doesn't have a call to action, your email is almost wasted. So let's just say I like what I saw in the email, but I'm left hanging. I don't know what to do next. That's where the landing page comes in. Say, hey, you know what? More information, click here. And then they go to that, they click on that, and they get the next action item and the landing page. We can have another session on what the landing page is and what the importance of landing page. And then create a monthly planner, strategize with your team and make sure your social media, your emails, and your website align on this. And then say, hey, you know what? For July, this is what we're going to talk about. So you probably saw in our organization, we are talking about email marketing in our website, in our social media, in our email marketing, in our sessions with webinars with other people, in our digital marketing clinic, we're talking about email marketing. So the whole month is about, just pour into email marketing and help people know that email marketing still works, right? the more valuable contents that you get, that you can get into people's inbox, the more likely they are to become your client. So if you can give them very valuable contents into their inbox, they will open it, they will start building trust in you, and then they will start wanting to open your inbox. Okay. If you guys have more questions on email marketing and stuff, you guys can definitely contact us. Most of you already have our contacts, so you should be already in our network. So you can definitely reach out to us. So I want to I'm going to give it over to Anna. Anna, are you good to share some of the best practices? So she's going to show you some sample emails that are not done right, and some emails that, and then we can talk about how can, maybe now that you guys learned it, you guys can even participate and say, hey, how can you change that email to make it more interesting and we'll want people to kind of engage.
Okay. Yeah, so for example, okay, so can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So yeah, here, so you can see, like, I just chose free email marketing.
Yeah, just stop in that one first. Let's go to the previous one. Yeah, here.
Oh,
a second.
This one?
Yeah,
so for example,
yeah,
this one. Yeah. So here you can see like a lot of text, and like if you just scan it quickly, you don't even know what it talks about because it has no headlines, no bullet points, for example. So you don't really, you cannot really have an idea of what's going on here. So for example, to increase like the engagement with customers, you could create like a very engaging headline to let the customer know what you're talking about. For example, you could also include like bullet points to divide like the topics you are going to talk about. Or you could also, like here, you don't even have like a call to action. So when people read this, it's like, what should I do? Or for like here, you have like link. So it's not like very visual, the email. So it doesn't catch the client's attention. So this is what you may need to do to let them focus on you and to know what you're talking about, and to give them like to offer value to them in some way.
Exactly.
So
Let me add a little bit, Anna, to this one. Sorry, if I can add a little bit to that one. If we can convert, sorry, if you can zoom in that 1 second. Yeah, this one, perfect. So here, for example, do you see that here? They have point forms. The content is not too bad, right? The content is that they do have creating professional marketing materials, granting access to database, sending out I know it's blurry, but out campaigns. So they have some bulletin points, but it's so bombarded into that heavy content that people cannot really scan, like Anna was saying, right? So even if we can say, you know what, only just bring out those 3 or 4 bulletin points and then hyperlink it, or say, for more details, go to our website, and we link them to the website, you'll be a lot more effective. Right? Because the email is not, the objective of this email is not to say, hey, you know what, all the information you need is in here. Trust me, going back to now communication tools, emails are not meant to communicate the full tools. Like I still believe a lot in picking up a phone and talking to each other, and doing what we're doing right now, and then website. So you have to figure out what medium works for the message that you want to convey to, right? What do you guys have any comments on this one? What do you guys think of this email? When you see this email, would you know right away like what they're going to talk about? No. What do you guys think of this email? Do you think this is an email that you will know right away? Oh, I know I can see myself getting values. Do you know what values that you're going to be able to get from here?
It's just too much information at once that I would just put it aside. Exactly. If I was interested in it, I'd put it aside. If I wasn't interested in it, I'd know that in the first 3 words and just delete it.
Exactly. Very good point, Susan. So And so that's a two different journey that Susan was just explaining. If she's interested in that company and she knows about that company and it's too much information, she'll probably park it and say, let me come back to it later when I have time, because this requires a lot of time. Or, you know what, I'm not even interested in what I just saw. I'm just going to delete it because this is just extra distraction for me, right? One or the other they're going to do, right? Another good thing they have here is a PDF. Even if they put that PDF as a, you know what, download this free PDF for this helpful, even that would have gone a long way instead of making it as an attachment in an email. Phil, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't read it.
Yeah,
It's just too much.
it's too much.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
just too much there. I probably wouldn't read it.
Exactly, I agree. Anna, you wanted to show another one? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to share my email so I can show you like our email marketing. Like for example, our last email marketing.
Mhm.
So here you can see like you have the company, which is very important to let so people can see, okay, this is the digital consultant that is trying to tell me something. Then we also like to include it catches the customer attention. They really like it. Oh, what happened?
I think, are you guys, is she breaking for you guys, or is
My
she, I can hear her? Yeah, your internet is,
Yes.
yeah, your internet is breaking. So if you can just, you can show it, Anna, and I can speak, I think. You guys can hear me though, right? You guys good to hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So here,
Okay.
Anna, if you go back to the top a little bit more to the top. So here you can see that, you know what? We go straight to the point. There's a heading. Nurture campaigns can help business transition leads into paying customers. So if you're looking for paying clients, or if you're looking to, transition, you're looking for leads, these are probably catchy words. So you're like, okay, let me look at what they have to say. We have, first of all, what is email nurturing campaign? Somebody be like, okay, I don't know what nurturing campaign is, but I do want leads and I want paying customers, right? So then they might lead into it. They might not even read the small print, but they will go into that, right? So scroll down, Anna, and you can see a person smiling a little bit. So we're moving their attention from text to pictures and then text again, right? And then we have tips to keep in mind when creating a nurturing campaign. We're actually, in case you're not even going to see it, be able to make it, you can have at least something to take away. We want to give them something to open up their email, right? Because one of the things that we stand by is that, if we are asking for your time to read your email, read our emails, we want to be able to give you something that you can take away with, because, you were respectful enough and you gave us that time and attention to open our emails. We want to be able to say, hey, you know what? We don't want this to be like, oh my goodness, this was a waste. But so we wanted to give something here, 2 tips, because you opened that email, 2 things that you can do. Subject lines that are interesting and memorable. And if you feel overwhelmed thinking about ideas, doing something every single week, start slow. You know what? Because sometimes it is overwhelming. Email marketing, social media, all of this can be overwhelming. For us, we're doing this full time, but for you guys it's different. You are taking care of clients, you're putting down fires on a constant basis, and then at the same time you have to think about marketing. It is a lot, right? So we would advise, slow it down, take one small step at a time, break it into chunks, and say, hey, you know what, let me do about emails once a month kind of thing, right? And then we say, hey, you know what, then we invite them. Here's our call to action, is saying, come with us, and we want to spend the time educating you guys about email marketing. And then here's the call to action, register now. It would be the one. Instead of making it as an attachment, we just go straight to this. And the image that Anna put in there is also hyperlinked, right? So again, you might still say, Jen, I might not still read this email. I'm not totally offended. That's totally fine as well. But I think it's better than just putting a whole bunch of text. All right.